I'm going to do a real quick sloppy video on this ATOTO S8 standard Android head unit today. It's going to be really noisy because it's Grand Central Station upstairs. The dogs are barking, tap dancing on the floor, people are walking around. It's an old house, so forgive the noise. Anyway, here's the deal. My father has a 2003 Silverado, my late father. It's actually my truck, and it doesn't have a GPS in it, which I really wanted if I'm going to use the truck for gigging at all during nice weather. I've got Pioneer AVICs and all of my other trucks, and they're from 2008. The maps are old, but they work fine. They've got hands-free phone and maps, and I can run XM on them if I've got the XM receiver in the truck. But it was time to get something for Dad's truck if I'm going to use it, because sometimes I don't know where I'm going. The GPS is just really nice. I looked into some of the Pioneer units, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of selection out there. The prices are way up there. And it seems like a lot of people are going with these other names. So this one is from ATOTO. There are other names out there like Joying, for instance, names I've never heard of, but they're really cool. I know a lot of cars have a screen in them, you know, similar to this, and you can run things like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which you can also do with this wirelessly. However, what's cool about this one is it's actually like its own computer. This is a tablet. It's using its own memory. It's using its own engines and launchers. You can save Google Maps on here, like your state or several states if you'd like to. You can save them on here. And if your phone is out of service or you're out of a service area, like I am a lot here in Wisconsin when I get out of the city, you can still run Google Maps because the maps are saved. This thing actually has its own GPS receiver, which is really cool. So it's not doing it just with your phone. Also has its own Wi-Fi receiver over here. There are several different little USB things here you can use. So one of them is for phone charging and phone link. This one here is for just a USB DVR. So if you wanted to DVR something like, I don't know, your backup cam or your dash cam, you could do it on that flash drive. By the way, I bought a backup cam too. It's this thru. I think I paid 20 bucks for it, maybe not even. Anyway, so I went this route. Did my research, went this route. The only thing I was concerned with was the maps on my phone didn't have signal. Since you can save it, I'm going with it. $273, I think, on Amazon. And I don't know a lot about it, but I'm going to show you kind of what I know. I'm bench testing it right now. I'm not going to put it in until the weather's better. But let me go ahead and do a hard boot on it. I'm using a 12-volt power supply inverter. Here's the hard boot. So if you're just plugging it in for the first time or you haven't ran your vehicle for several days, you get this screen. You can put whatever logo on here you want. There's Ferrari and Rolls-Royce and Ford and Dodge and whatever. I put the Chevy one on there. But this is the initial boot. The way it's supposed to work when you've got constant feed to it with the constant wire is that it's going to boot the way you tell it to. I've got this one set up to boot to Google Maps. You go to this Vivid launcher, which I installed in here custom, because you can totally customize this. And Google Maps. Well, now it's going to Prime Video. It's all confused because, like I said, I don't have that constant on. I think that's the problem. Anyway, get out of this, and you can go to Google Maps. Okay? Which I've saved on here. You don't need to be online to access this now because I've saved Wisconsin and Illinois on here. I can save Indiana and Minneapolis or whatever I want to do. And I think they update, I don't know, every few months, or you have to update them every few months, at least once a year. But that's okay. I don't mind doing that. For 273 bucks, why not? I'm going to show you what it looks like, though, when you would normally turn it on. So I'm going to turn it off right here. Turn it back on and kind of show you what the boot time is. It's like instant. It's right there. And again, when it's all working correctly, the maps launch like this. And that's the Vivid launcher. It comes with a different launcher on it. I don't even know what it's called. But you can download these launchers from, I think, the Play Store is where I got it. This launcher is kind of cool. If you look at it, I've got some quick buttons down here for apps. I've got my SiriusXM app on here that I can just touch and go into SiriusXM. And what's really cool about this is not only can I, listen to tunes on here, but I'm not blocking the camera too much. Like here, I'm going to press play on this. I don't even know what this is. Probably the last thing I looked at. Oh, come on, buddy. Touch is actually pretty good on here. So, I'm getting video, right? And you can run all kinds of video with this. For instance, you can run Amazon Prime, you can run Netflix, you can run Disney Plus. I've got Pluto TV on here, which is free. It gives you different news and things, entertainment, movies, whatever. They do have commercials, but it's free, so I'm going to use that. I like to watch news when I am sitting. Like if I'm going to go do a gig or something, and I've got to wait like an hour or two, I don't want to watch the news or something. So it'd be nice to just put this on. I can screw around with my phone and go on Facebook if I wanted to, and have the news on or a show on or whatever. Something I'd use when I was driving. Something I was looking for, but it's a cool feature to have. Of course, it's got hands-free phone. You can put all your contacts in here and stuff. I'm going to jump into some of these apps and show you what's here. You've got YouTube. That's kind of cool, right? So this is YouTube. You can, watch your YouTube videos or look at your channel or whatever you want to do. That's there. That's kind of neat. What else is here that would be interesting? Google Chrome. You can just go in here and you can Google. The way I'm using this, by the way, I am tethering my Wi-Fi signal from my phone to the head unit. Actually, that's not true. It's using the house Wi-Fi right now. But when I'm driving down the road, I can do this. I think you can also put a SIM card in here, but I don't know how to do that. A lot of them you can. But then it's only going to work, when you have signal. However, the maps will always work. And there's a radio tuner in here too, so you'll always get radio, or you can put your own music on a flash drive and listen to it. It does Spotify. It does all kinds of stuff. Here's something really neat that, again, I wasn't looking for it, but it's cool. If you go over here, I've got something called Torque. And what Torque is real-time diagnostics of your vehicle. I bought this guy right here. I'll take it out of the box. This goes into your OBDII reader. There's a plug under your dash, where you can plug in a computer if you got a check engine light or whatever. This thing plugs into that, and it Bluetooths to the head unit, and it gives you real-time diagnostics of your car. So if you got a check engine light, it shows it. You can clear it. You can see what the code is on a code reader. The way it usually works is, on the ones I have anyway, you see the code. It's a P247 or whatever it is. Then you have to go on Google and find out what a P247 is and how to fix it. On this guy, the way it's going to work is, not only is it going to tell you what code it is, but it's going to give you a Google link to what it is and how to address it. Whether it's something like a vapor lock leak on your gas cap, or maybe it's a MAF sensor, cylinder misfire. Can you just clear it and you'll be all right? Do you need to do something? This is going to tell you all about it. And you're going to be able to do custom gauges, and it's going to tell you your RPMs, your temperature, your oil pressure, your transmission temperature, anything your computer will tell this unit. This is going to read it, but you use this, you Bluetooth again. Just plug this in and leave it there and Bluetooth them. You've got real-time data. That's neat. Gives you your speed too, via the GPS, I believe. On this, it might actually give it through the OBDII. I'm not sure. But anyway, cool feature I wasn't looking for, but it's there. And I thought it was kind of neat. Of course, you've got widgets here. This one is talking about what I'm streaming. If I come up here, I can actually change it. And it shows me my options. Prime Video, local music, Bluetooth music, Pandora. If you got Spotify, it'll show Spotify. The only app I haven't got to work on this is my Spectrum cable app, which is actually Charter. It won't do anything. It just shows me a picture of my house and a road in front of it with like a location. So I think it knows that this is a mobile thing and it doesn't want you to watch cable on the road. But everything else seems to work. Like I say, Netflix, Disney Plus, whatever. I'm running, like I said, that Pluto app on here. Amazon Prime Video. The video on XM works. It's kind of neat. Something else that's really cool about this particular unit is that it's very shallow. So on my old Pioneer AVIC units, when I'd install them in a Silverado, and I have a 2000 Silverado and I have a 2003 Suburban, which has the same depth in it as far as, you know, the radio depth, you've got to go in there and cut a bracket because it's so deep. There's a, I guess, a dashboard bracket that you don't really need, I guess. But after a while, it will squeak because your dash isn't fastened as well as it should be, but your head unit's in, right? Also got one on a little Chevy S10. They're all the same, but this one doesn't have a CD player, so it's a really, really shallow mount. You don't have to cut anything. You pretty much install it in anything, because, I mean, the thing's only like, you know, 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep. I've got these brackets on here for when I do the install, so I can put the install brackets on it. But, yeah, those are just metal brackets that go on the side. They're not going to interfere with anything. The widgets are cool. You can make these however you want. There's all kinds of ones. There's a clock. There's shortcuts. Here's some of your local music stuff that you can go through. If I press on this, what's it do? No, it's not doing anything, but I don't know. You can tell this thing what kind of widget you want, and the developer might develop it for you. That's kind of a neat feature, a feedback feature. But I just got this stuff on here, and I can rearrange them any way I want. So if I want nav over here, I can press and hold this, move it over here, and it does that. But I like nav over here. I'll put it in here. See, my local music is telling me it's playing Chic Good Times. That must be, I don't know, it is radio. Maybe I got it on a flash drive. I don't know how I have it. But that's what it's playing. Anyway, it's a neat piece. Really inexpensive. This is brand new to me. It's using its own processing power. Again, it's not using my phone. This is not Android Auto. This is not Google CarPlay. It has the ability to run those things for you, but that's not what this is. So it's neat. I thought it was neat, and the price was right. And I think this is probably, I don't know, maybe middle of the road kind of entry level thing with the 3 gig of RAM. You go 2, that's the cheap units, and you might not be able to run multiple apps. It might be kind of slow. You go with something like the 4 gig or the 6 gig even. I've seen they're super fast. But yeah, I think the response is pretty good on it. I mean, you know, just thumbing around with this thing does pretty good. There's all kinds of stuff that's built into here I haven't even explored yet. Of course, you've got the Google Play Store, so you could put, you know, whatever app you want in here. It's got really good DSP, by the way, so you can set this up however you want. It's got like time correction if you want to do time correction on your time correction on your speakers. We've talked about that with, you know, doing rear fill speakers for DJs. You get an echo. Well, you can actually adjust this stuff here, which you're never going to care about. I mean, it's your car. Who cares? But you can do it if you want. I don't know, bass boost or sound field stuff. You can kind of adjust, you know, where the driver is going to be or where you want the sound to be for the most part, and it automatically just go there. So your driver, co-pilot, rear, all. The pre-outs on it are only 2 volts. Like the really good stuff, like the Pioneer stuff, is 4. This is only 2, but that's okay. I mean, I don't care about that. But yeah, if I come in here, I can adjust these EQs, you know, however I want to. I don't know how this sounds yet because I haven't hooked up the speakers yet. And it does have some presets that you can do: standard, rock, soft, classic, pop, hall, jazz, cinema. Loudness, you can turn it on and off. You can adjust the rear separate from the front. There's all kinds of neat stuff you can do just with the DSP on this thing. So you can customize it. That's kind of the point. You know, it doesn't have to be just, you know, whatever it is, like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Nothing wrong with those things. But I don't mess with my phone too much, really. I just make calls on it and text and stuff. I'm not living on my phone like some people. If you live on your phone, you know, maybe this is something that, you know, you'd like, that Android Auto, but this is more like a tablet. I decided to do a video on it. Show you kind of what it is, what it does. I'm still getting familiar with it. I'm definitely not an expert on it, for sure. I'm going to get this installed, like I said, when the weather gets nice, whenever that is, maybe February, maybe March, out in the shop. And I'm going to use factory speakers. I'm not trying to make a competition stereo. They do make some really cool stereos like this from companies like Joying and ATOTO, that you could use for competition, but I don't care about that. I just want, more than anything else, I want maps, hands-free calling, and music. That's really all I'm looking for. It's 25 times 4 watts, so it's 25 watts per speaker. That's pretty standard for a head unit. That's pretty good. I've seen it a lot lower on these, but that's, you know, pretty much what your Pioneer stereos have for a built-in amplifier. It's all D-class. But anyway, yeah, just wanted to show this to you. So we're going to put a backup camera in. I don't know, dash cam. I don't think I'm going to do dash cam. Maybe I will. They're not that expensive. I just didn't know if I needed it on that truck. And you probably did notice, too, that you'll see my reflection in some of this. The screen brightness is really good, as you can see. I mean, that's really not going to interfere with you too much at the angle it's at. They have other units that look like you've glued a tablet to your dash. It's like, you know, 10-inch screens, 12-inch screens, all this crazy stuff. But I wanted something with a nice fit and finish that looked like it belonged in the dash. So I got this. And, yeah. Questions, answers? Well, let me know in the comments section. I'm a newbie. This is my first time with an Android Auto head unit. And the really cool thing about it is, you know, like the price, you know, I'd pay up for the right unit, you know. But this stuff is doing fine for me, I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to work out really well. And if there comes a point where I want something more and I want to update it for a couple $100, it's not a big deal. I'm not making another $1,200 investment. When I invest $1,200 in a head unit, I'm married to it. I'm going to use it until it doesn't work anymore, even if the maps are outdated. As long as the phone works and I can kind of tell where I'm going, I'm going to use it. But with this, I don't mind swapping it out for that price. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, that's it, guys. We will see you next time. Questions, answers, let me know. Thanks for watching.